So there is almost like a perfect storm there. What is going on? We need to understand that. The skills shortage in some ways points to a mismatch between what our institutions are producing and what is required by the various sectors. There are many graduates that are walking the streets unemployed, but imini unotaura kuti hatina vanhu kumacompanies kwedu. Even in the ministries, we are hearing that we don't have those people, and we don't have the skills that we need. So there is something that needs to be done in order to correct that. It is against this background that His Excellency created this ministry. It is to bridge these gaps and ensure that our training institutions are informed and capacitated to produce the skills and professionals that this country needs in order to meet its aspirations, defined currently in the context of the Vision 2030, but also defined more specifically in the NDS1, which is very specific about the steps that the country should take in the 5 years that are covered by that strategy in order to get to the broader vision. Zimbabwe is one of the highest literacy rates in Africa, which means our basic education is very strong. Very strong. I would add numeracy as well. Basic numeracy is there. So in terms of literacy, we usually come either number 1 or number 2, with upwards of 92% literacy. Typically, it's Tunisia that we compete with as far as that is concerned. However, its skills level and adaptability is still very low. We had people from industry and commerce here today. One of the sectors was actually saying that they have a shortage of about 93.57% of the skills that they need, which is a very huge gap. So this is undermined the developmental trajectory of our nation. We require critical technical skills and fundamental soft skills to be competitive. Challenge yenyu yave kuti even as you have custody of our mineral resources, challenge yenyu yave kuti how do we create value out of these mineral resources. Yesterday I was telling people here that the World Economic Forum sometimes places Zimbabwe as the most well endowed in terms of natural resources per capita than any other country in the world. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's DRC that they mention as having as being the richest in terms of natural resource endowment. But the challenge now is how do we convert convert this resource endowment into marine a wealth that we can use for the betterment of the people of Zimbabwe. So that's the biggest challenge that we have, and that's the biggest challenge that we share between you, the parastatals, and the entire minerals value chain, including the private companies that operate in Zimbabwe. So against this background, my ministry now wants to engage all the stakeholders that are possible. You here, people in agriculture, we have talked to them about already. Industry and commerce, we have talked about already. We are going to every sector ministry, together with their parastatals, as well as the stakeholders that are related to that ministry. In order for us to start what we have coined as skills revolution that we want to see in this country. And we are saying, above everything else that we can do, the aspect of human capital development is the biggest variable that can turn a country around. That's what we are saying. We are coming from an assumption and understanding that it's human capital development that can lead to a country turning around. And human capital development is undergirded by two areas of investment. One is the health of a nation. You have to have a healthy nation in order for the people to work for themselves and bring prosperity to the nation. The second aspect, which we are now dealing with here, is the development of competencies and capacity within that healthy population for it to then create value in the various sectors of the economy. Ours is that second aspect of creating competencies and capacities in our human capital. That's what we are tasked with. So we need to adopt a deliberate strategy for a skills revolution so that we can extricate ourselves from poverty. We're a country which should not be poor. That's the way I see it. We are a country that should not be poor. The average Zimbabwean should probably have a per capita income of $10,000 US. And even in area because you know, I don't know what to change pese in this country. The whole belt, it's the entirety of the country. Pese for family. Pese. You see see what is happening there in terms of the activities that take place. Ukadai mana Chegutu Kadoma, Kwekwe, Churugwi, Rwanda, Blawayo. So everywhere you go, Kulebolidi. But it's which one in Magagari offices. Iko ukatariza kuti makomo aya akazara sei nelithium. Ingobuda chete uende pakurobonza pamo. Vari kumainiwa nekambani yemachina. And all the trucks and trucks of this valuable, in fact, is considered to be the power source of the future. Even Munu, but he's sitting now. And there is no. My engineer now. My PhD in strategy now. My PhD in policy formulation now. Let's create the human capital that we need in order to fight poverty, especially in our rich country. And I also want to make this statement that says all nations that have evolved from low income to high income status in a fast paced way, they have done so premised on their deliberate efforts to develop skills. Zimbabwe needs to adopt a deliberate strategy for this skills revolution to keep abreast with the rest of the world. I always want to say Zimbabwe has no reason to be laggards on anything, including, we can't be laggards as far as adoption or adaptation to the fourth industrial revolution, because we have the human capital that could place us there. But now we are laggards. Kenya is doing very well in terms of developing in the area of, software development, e-commerce, moving to artificial intelligence. Zimbabwe was way ahead of South Africa in terms of our education system. They continue to say that. But specifically with regard to embracing the fourth industrial revolution, now South Africa is way ahead of us. And that shouldn't happen. And embracing the fourth industrial revolution is all about efficiencies in our operations, various operations. It's all about creating more value with the same resources that we had previously. And we need to be leaders and not to be falling behind. We need to develop skills that will help in the greening of our economy, in the greening of our operations, even your own operations in the mining and mining development sector. We have phenomena such as climate change and the rising need to climate-proof our country. It's not just agriculture, but climate-proof our country. So these are some of the challenges that we face. Our consultations with you will form part of our general skills audit, as well as be the basis of our national skills development agenda as we go forward. As you participate today, I urge you to take this process very seriously and maintain